Good afternoon, Facebook, and welcome to another edition of Lady Sings the News, where I sing it to you straight. No chaser. So happy Monday to everyone, and I thank everyone in advance for tuning in. As Hey Johnny, be good. So as most of you know, I spent this past weekend in Chicago celebrating my birthday as well as attending the world's largest Steppin contest. And I am going to do my best not to belabor that topic anymore. Hey, Latanya. So, before we begin, I see, hey, Alicia Jackson. Hey, Tika. So before we delve into today's topic of stepping in Chicago, is it really all that? I deem it warranted, almost obligatory to share a few sentiments with you. Hey, Tracy, aka Cola. Hey, cousin Justin. Kiss that baby for me. So as I was saying, I deemed it obligatory to share a few sentiments with you. First and foremost, I have two bachelor degrees actually in history and business. And I graduated with honors with a master's in business administration. I also hold a few professional certifications as well. That being said, I do not have a degree in Steppin. Or Chicago, or fashion for that matter. These are my unsolicited opinions on my personal experiences in said topics. So, now that we've gotten the pleasantries out of the way, let's go ahead and delve into this topic. So, stepping in Chicago, is it really all that? Hey, Eb, hey, Art. First things first. I am well within my infancy in this dance. I think I've said that ad nauseum at this point. So when I was brand new, I'm talking Similac dripping from my lips in this dance, in this community, what was said to me almost repeatedly was, if you really want to glean and learn this dance, go to Chicago. This was pounded into my head. If you really want to learn this dance, go to Chicago. I was told two things. That along with go to Chicago when there's nothing going on. Those two things were shared to me by people from Chicago, folks not from Chicago. But again, that was drilled into my head from day one. If you really want to learn this dance, go to Chicago. Now, I am not suggesting by any stretch of the imagination that you cannot learn this dance not going to Chicago. That's like saying you can't be a sommelier if you don't go to Napa Valley, or you can't be a fashion designer if you don't go to New York. But chances are it's called Chicago Steppin' for a reason, y'all. So, yeah. Also, I liken it to learning a new language. Thank you, Elsie, the technician. Hey, Antonio. Hey, Red. Hey, Bree. I'm still jonesing over that outfit you wore at the contest. Okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about the contest, but I liken it to learning a new language. If you, I done lost my earring, y'all. If you want to learn how to speak Spanish, can you learn how to speak Spanish in Atlanta? Absolutely. You can spend 6 months taking instruction from a Spanish-speaking person. However, you cannot cajole me into thinking that experience is going to be identical to that if you were taking 6 months Spanish classes in Mexico or Puerto Rico or Colombia. So I just want y'all to kind of keep that in mind. So again, let me reiterate for those of you that are just tuning in. Hey, Stephanie Williams. We're talking about my personal experiences. Having been to Chicago, I've been a number of times at this point. I am well within my infancy in this dance. So let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? All right. So first things first, the music. There are a lot of DJs out there that I absolutely adore, but y'all know, and I've said this a multitude of times, my favorite DJ is Shorty Smooth. Now, like I said, there are a number of DJs that I absolutely adore. I've said their names before. I don't think I need to repeat. But Shorty Smooth is my favorite DJ. Hey, Vince. And the reason being is because Shorty Smooth will take me from being 5 years old, watching my parents dance in the kitchen, to my first dance in junior high, to Mary J. Blige when I was an undergrad, all the way up to crunk music now at one set. And it will all blend seamlessly. So the DJs, hey Talty, hey Miss Laura. So yes, the music, even on the radio stations, you hear quote unquote step-in music. And I know that there are two schools of thought. One being there is no such thing as step-in music. Folks step to anything. And then I know that there are quote unquote a playlist of songs that are typically considered step-in music. But the music, my first stop this past Thursday was at the Blue Note. Baby, you know how normally when you go to a set, I know for me anyway, I wait till there's a lull in the music or so that I can run to the restroom and freshen up or take my photos. I was sitting there holding it because the music was so good. I even got a shout out at Heroes, y'all. So yes, the music it's exemplary. And I heard songs that I'd never heard before in my life. And I also heard songs that I don't typically hear at a set. Hey, Doc. Hey, beautiful Adrian. So that's my first point is the music. The music is different. And like I said, you may find yourself stepping a reggae, house. They step to house. I've seen them play house at a set, but I've never seen anyone step to it before. And if you look at my previous live videos, you'll see that I did a live video of Mr. Pete Frazier and Sean Bandy and Miss Janice Robertson getting it in. I'm sorry, I said I wasn't gonna talk about it, but I got to give Miss Janice Robertson a wink and a smile. Cause baby, that lady right there, first of all, those legs are so powerful. I'm getting off topic, but I had to give her a wink and a smile. So yes, the music. The other thing, don't quote me on this now, but I felt as though there were more. Thank you so much, Adrian. I appreciate that. Hey, Brian. I felt that there were more men to women. And if it wasn't more men to women, then it was definitely the ratio was close. Typically, when I go to a set here in Atlanta or at another venue in another city, there's a huge disparity in the numbers of women to men. And so naturally, with there being more men, or at least a matching of that, your experience is going to be different. Okay. I recall sitting there and I mean, before I could even put on my lip gloss good, there was a hand waiting for me to dance. So, ladies, I certainly encourage you to check it out for yourself and let me know what you think. Hey, Miss Leisha. So with there being more men to women, the other thing that I noticed is the quality of dances. Now, you got to understand, these folks have been dancing in their living rooms when they were kids. They grew up doing this. They didn't go to a class for 2 to 3 years and learn how to dance from an instructor. This is part of their fabric. This is part of the fabric of their lives. Okay. So naturally the dance is going to be different. And baby, just thinking about it, that dance, ooh, it was so good. So they're not counting, number one. And they're not going to allow you to count. Now, I'm still very much counting in my dance. All the way from Rome, Italy. I love it. Thanks so much, Leisha, for tuning in. Hey, Sandra. Hey, Kenneth. So, yes, the feel of the dance is different. It's a closer dance. As a matter of fact, y'all know I take classes with I-57 steppers. And every single thing that my instructor shared with me came to fruition while I was in Chicago. The closeness of the dance, Everyone stays in their lane. In 4 days, I got bumped once. And typically my dance is, hey, Tamala. Typically, I'll share this with you. I'm very transparent. My dance can be a little wild. I dance hip hop, and that's still very much in my blood. So I get throwing these elbows and doing all this stuff. Y'all know I can get a bit eccentric. And they don't allow you to do all that. The man is the lead, and he is going to lead you. And so the dance is tight. I'm talking tighter than a virgin on prom night, y'all. Y'all hear me? You hear me? So yes, everyone stays in their lane. And hey, Lonnie, a lot of the venues you go to, the dance floor is very small. So it's imperative that you are dancing in tight quarters. Now, we still getting it in. Don't get it twisted. We are still very much getting it in, but you're very much staying in that square. So the dance is different. The feel is different. I wasn't counting. I couldn't anticipate moves because they wouldn't allow it. You like that, DC? So yes, the feel of the dance is different. It's closer. They would turn me. Like, I promise you, I was dancing with this one guy. He had on all black at Heroes. He kind of looked like, I'll come back to it, but we were dancing so close. If I'd have stuck my tongue out, y'all, we'd have been tongue kissing. That's how close that dance was, but it wasn't provocative. You know, you can be close and still very much be in the semblance of the dance, and it's nothing more than that. Here's another point I wanted to mention. There is no one and done. You know, typically, because there are more women to men, when you dance with a guy, he'll give you that one and done dance and then carousel you to your seat. It's a standard of 2 dances and sometimes even 3 or 4. Thank you, Lonnie. I appreciate that. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Sonji. So, yes. And hey, Kyla. Mwah, miss you. And so, yes, you are definitely going to dance twice at minimum. I recall I was about to dance with this guy. I was dancing with this guy, and then after the song was over, I went to give him my little chug and say, oh, thank you for the dance. And he gave me this look like, where you think you going? I was like, okay, yes, daddy. Here we go. So be prepared to dance with a guy 2 to 3 times, and maybe even 4 or 5. What else would I like to mention? Eye contact. Eye contact. Oh my gosh, they would look you in your eyes like they were reading my soul, y'all. And they dance to the lyrics. Oh, thank you so much, Tyler. They dance to the lyrics of the song. Can you imagine dancing with a guy and it's close? He smells good. He ain't dripping with sweat. He ain't got that cootie rag. Y'all know that cootie rag, that rag that they use to wipe themselves off when they wet. You ain't got none of that. Because somebody told me if you sweating a whole bunch, you're doing too much. I didn't say it. Don't blame me. I'm just letting y'all know. Somebody told me if you sweating profusely, you are doing too much. Okay. So, like I was saying, imagine, picture it, if you will. The song is saying something like, and then I spin you around and around and around. And the guy that you're dancing with spins you around and around and around. Y'all know I don't smoke. I almost needed a spliff after dancing with some of these guys. That's another thing I wanted to mention. They make it all about the woman. 95% of men that I've danced with, I even want to say 98%. I'm going to go ahead and be honest. 99%. 99% of the men that I danced with, Black Swan danced with, made it all about me. Eye contact, making me feel like a natural woman. Dancing on my level and still challenging me. Did they do their footwork? Yes. But they didn't go halfway across the floor to do their little stuff and come back to me. It was all about me and making me feel good and making sure that I enjoyed that dance. That's my personal experience. You said not true. You sweat. Just walk to the car, Jason. Again, this is my personal experience. Did people sweat? Yes. And did I sweat? Yes. But nothing like when I dance here. The other thing I noticed is that out-of-towners do get a lot of love. They it's almost like they're glad to see that you're investing in yourself and you're investing in this dance and you're investing in their culture and community. So you do get a lot of love. Folks were like, me and my girls, they were like, oh, Atlanta is in the house. They were shouting us out on the radio. Hey, Tim. Yes, I am a little crazy. Douglas says it should be all about the woman. Well, you ain't never lie on that. As a matter of fact, that should extend beyond the dance if you ask me. But we're not here to talk about that right now. But yes. Hey, Sue. Yes. What was I talking about? Out-of-towners getting love. Yes, honey. Out-of-towners, we got much love. And let me put a caveat in that. Don't go to Chicago now and think just because you cute and you got a big booty that they automatically gonna dance with you. Don't even do it to yourself, honey. Don't do it to yourself, boo. Here's what they will do. They're gonna watch and see what that basic do. They're gonna watch and see what your basic looks like. If you can do your basic, then they will ask you to dance. But they're first going to observe you, see how you interact at the set. They're going to see who you came in with. They're going to see who you liaison with. And then they may ask you to dance. But it's not automatic, because guess what? Hey, Virgo. Hey, Helen. Hey, beautiful Donna Peak. Because guess what? They got a whole bunch of Paris Whites, Tabitha Hicks, Yvette O'Donnell's. They got a whole bunch of pretty, gorgeous, fine A women, tight and right. So there's no need for them to jump and dance with you. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and put this plug out there. Some of the baddest women I've ever seen are in this community. I had to put that side note out there. These women, these 60s, 70s, and 50s babies is killing the game. You hear me? Killing it. Look at Miss Cora. Okay, I'm back on track. Hey, Q. It's the woman's time, not the guy. Chicago is hard city to please. Kevin, you ain't lying. But again, that's why I think it's imperative. This is why I suggest for you to go visit, because the more they see your face, the more they become acclimated with you. When folks see that you are investing in yourself, then they will invest in you. And that transcends beyond just this dance. That's with anything in life. When people see you invest in yourself, they will go ahead and invest in you as well. So yes, out-of-towners get much love, but don't think just because you cute, boo. Don't do it. Okay. Also, another great experience that I had in Chicago is taking classes. Oh, thank you, Raymond or Ramon. Take classes. That's an excellent way not only to receive instruction from those who are from the city, but also you get an opportunity to meet individuals in the class, which has helped me a bunch as well. I've had the pleasure of taking classes with Miss Yvette O'Donnell. In fact, the next time I go to Chicago, I really want to try to get there on a Wednesday so I can take her class. I believe she's teaching with Tim Riffick now, but don't quote me. I also have had the pleasure of taking classes with Kevin Dockery and Big Slim Clifton. In fact, that felt more like a private, because they gave me and my girls a lot of personalized attention, and I appreciated that. I've never taken Snoopy's class, but I kind of feel like I have, only because I've gone to the set while they were still teaching. And I've also had instruction from Sean Ballantyne, and I took a private with Milady Margaret, but there are definitely a slew of others. I'd like to take Nike and Tori's class. I'm not sure when they have class, but I'd like to do that as well. So definitely take classes. Vince Barnes says he agrees. First time in Shy, he expected to get the stank face, but he got a myriad of dances. Being a advanced beginner. That's a good title, advanced beginner. But yeah, they'll definitely show you love. But I encourage you to take classes when you go. I also would like to take classes with, what's the gentleman's name with the dreads? And he won Royce Banks. I'd love to take his class as well if I had the opportunity to. So, if any of you have taken classes in Chicago, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and let me know, or a few hearts, and kind of chime in on what your experience has been. But Yes, stepping in Chicago is unlike anything I personally experienced. And I've had the privilege of traveling to a myriad of cities. I've been to Florida, I've been to Virginia, North Carolina, where else? Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and probably a slew of others that I can't quite remember. Is that sunshine? I was hoping to see you, beautiful, at the World, and I missed you, but I'll definitely see you in Alabama this weekend. Hey, China Doll. Hey, Jana. Hey, Anthony. Kevin said, as a DJ, it's hard to get sets to DJ because people don't trust you holding a set down unless you're the face they always see, and that's not fair. He said he did Donnie's class for the world's largest. Well, baby, you did a good job, Kevin. I thoroughly enjoyed Donnie. Oh, Donnie the Dance Master. I'm glad you mentioned that, Kevin. That's a must because a lot of folks come out to watch Donnie. They come out to support him. So you can be in a class with Drury Alexander. Who else was in there? Tall Rick was there. What's the lady's name with the crazy footwork? Ann Hunter? Oh my gosh. I'm enamored with Ann Hunter, by the way, y'all. Her footwork is bananas. I remember one of the compliments I remember the most is Big Slim, when he first danced with me here at the Heritage Ball. He said, "You got a little Ann in you." Lord of mercy. What'd he tell me that for? Now, just to be in the same sentence with Crazy Legs and Hunter, I was fit to be tied, y'all. And of course, he wasn't comparing me to her because there is no comparison. But I guess he was just trying to say that I was a little fancy. I had a little flair with my dance. But, when else are you going to really be able to have all those types of... Oh, and West Side Mike was in the class. You're not really ordinarily going to be able to be in a class with those types of individuals and freely be able to dance with them. T. Pratt was there. So I definitely encourage you to take classes. And Donnie the Dance Master, go on, do that. Do yourself a favor and do that. Kevin said, what do I think about your comment? Okay, so he mentioned that if you're not necessarily a well-known DJ, it's hard to get time, I guess. I can't really speak to that because like I mentioned before, I'm a novice and I don't necessarily understand the dynamics of who and why they choose certain DJs. But I will say this, you don't have a set without the DJ. The DJ is the cornerstone of any set. So I would encourage you maybe to build relationships and build rapport with those that are in charge, the promoters, and hopefully they will maybe utilize you for the next set. Here's a suggestion, maybe because you don't necessarily have that notoriety, bring your price point down and say, just as a one-time, I kind of just want you to glean what my skills are like. And going forward, this will be my full rate. But just as an introductory rate, maybe do that just to get your feet in the door. Hey, Wakiba. Y'all, that Wakiba is bad. Y'all hear me? I remember when I saw her win her first, she won beginners and she won walking with Chase in the world's largest, and then came back and won walking again. Look. I mean, you win one time, they could easily say it was a fluke. You win twice, back to back. What you want from me, you know? Hey, Ginger, I was looking forward to seeing you and I didn't. Hey, Miss Ladora, I will see you this weekend. My girls and I are coming to Alabama to get it in. So yes, travel to other areas, take classes. Hey, Joanne Queen. So I ask y'all, is Steppin in Chicago all that? Well, as a matter of fact, can't wait to get back. Chicago will have you like high on life. Can I tell you something? My dance was different in Chicago. Now, I have received a myriad of compliments on my dance, and I'm not really good at accepting them because I truly feel like my dance is not nowhere near where it should be at this stage of the game. Hey, pretty Nikki. But in Chicago, I was proud of my dance, honey. Black Swan was in the building, and I was getting it in. Every place I went to, I danced with everyone I wanted to dance with. By the time I got to Heroes, I was a full-blown addict. I did not want to leave, but I had a plane to catch. My dance is different in Chicago, and again, it's because the quality of dances that you get, the men that you dance with, they don't allow you to anticipate moves. They are strong, firm leaders. They make it all about you. That experience is all that. So I encourage you not only to travel to Chicago, but to other cities as well, because again, you get an opportunity to meet people. And then when you go to other cities, it's a community. It's all love. It's all good. But you got to get your name and face out there. And I know that there are individuals that are like, you know what? This is just something I do at my leisure. It's not that serious. It's just a dance. And I respect that. But for Swan, any and everything that I invest my money, time, and attention to, oh, it's serious. I'm a Virgo. I'm a perfectionist. So anything I do, I'm going to give it 100%. If I'm not going to give it 100%, I don't do it. That's me personally. So yes. Hey, Neith. I didn't record myself dancing, but I did get a few nods from some reputable, notable hitters. And so for me, that was enough. Oh, speaking of which, don't just go after the heavy hitters when you go to Chicago, because guess what? A lot of them are hitters that just, you may not know them because they've never competed. There are a litany of incredible, great dancers who have never competed in the world's largest or who've never competed in other contests, but they are very much excellent dancers and will give you the dance of your life. Okay. I can recall my first time in Chicago. I went to a set. I don't remember the name of the place, but they go there on Wednesdays. And that was when I first met Snoopy because he was at the door. And I remember Steppin LP, who I just absolutely adore. I think that man's dance is just, it's out of control what he can do with his legs. That man is splitting. You hear me? That man is splitting, and he ain't 32. I don't know how old the man is, but he ain't 32. And he didn't ask me to dance. He grabbed me, pulled me up on that little mini stage that they had, and I was like, oh my gosh. I don't hardly know my basic from the 6 count to 8 count to a 2 count. Okay. Oh, that's Club Karma. Okay. So I was at Club Karma, and so he pulled me up on that little stage, and I'm waiting for him to do the start. And he looked at me, he said, "What you waiting on, to start?" Yes, he did. I was like, all righty, here we go. So we started dancing. Of course, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm still going to try to make it look good, baby, because I'm going to make it do what it do. And so after that, folks started asking me to dance. So yes, there is no experience like Steppin in Chicago. The only thing that bears a slight resemblance to that for me is the Heritage Ball, which is hosted by Good D International, known as GDI. And that is February 23rd through the 26th of next year. And the reason why I say there's a semblance. Hey, Izina, thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Stephanie. The reason I say that there's a semblance is because a lot of folks from Chicago come out to support that event. As a matter of fact, the first time I went to Chicago, everyone kept asking me, "Are you going to the Heritage Ball? Are you going to the Heritage Ball? Are you going to the Heritage Ball? Are you going to the Heritage Ball?" I was like, what in the world is the Heritage Ball? And where can I get a ticket? So if I'm not mistaken, here's another, don't quote me on it, I believe there were more folks from Chicago representing that city than any other city. When they did the roll call from the cities, I believe there were more folks from Chicago and Detroit, even than Atlanta, which I can't necessarily understand how you have more people from out of town than in town. But yes, so if you can't make it to Chicago, I implore you to get to the Heritage Ball. you will have a ball. That's why they call it a ball, because this is exactly what you're gonna have. Last year I lost 5 pounds. I told y'all I lost 5%. But y'all see this waist? I ain't got no waist train on. Y'all see this waist? Chicago got me tight and right, y'all. I lost 5% body fat in 4 days. That's a lot. And I wasn't eating it healthy like I normally eat. So, yeah. If you can't get to Chicago, make sure you put on your calendar. I'll say it one more again for those in the back. The Heritage Ball, GDI, February 23rd to the 26th next year. It's a must. There's a lot of fuss, and it's all warranted. Hey, James. Hey, Kevin. So here's one more point I wanted to make. So when you go out of town, it's kind of an unspoken rule that you shouldn't dance with people from your own city, because you can dance with them anytime. And ordinarily, I follow that rule. But not only is my dance different in Chicago, the folks that you ordinarily dance with, their dance is different in Chicago too. Let me tell you something. Y'all, everybody knows who Andre Blackwell is, right? Right. What y'all see him doing here in Atlanta? That dude just be playing. What y'all see DeVan Poe and Miss Sugarfoot do in Atlanta? They just be playing. You got to see them dance in Chicago with their folks, with people on their level. Honey, it's a whole nother situation. I had to dance with DeVan Poe in Chicago. And I'm sure Doc Ellis doesn't mind me mentioning this, but I asked him, I was like, Doc, you want to dance? Because at this point, I dance with everybody at the club at this point. And he's like, I'm trying to pace myself. I'm kind of tired. I was like, I understand, Doc. I'm a little tired too. As a matter of fact, my feet was hurting. Can't even believe that I was still trying to dance. But I guess the music got good to him, like it got good to me. And he said, well, come on. He said, I'm a dance with you, but I'm going to give you the dance. I was like, all right, Doc, let's just do it. So we start dancing. Baby, that dance that Doc Ellis gave me, who's also an unofficial instructor of mine. I've never taken any classes with him, but because he loves to dance so much, he has given me a lot of pointers and stuff. Doc shut it down, honey, at Heroes. And then we danced twice. And it was such a good dance that afterwards I said, Doc, it's a good thing that you didn't want to, it's a good thing you didn't want to dance. And we laughed and laughed and laughed. But yes, again, from the lips of a novice, it behooves you to travel to Chicago and dance the Chicago Steppin dance in Chicago. And not only Chicago, but a number of other cities as well. I encourage you to do it. Hey, Darlene. So I'm going to ask each of you, those of you that have danced in Chicago and those of you that have not, if you wouldn't mind just going ahead and writing either a sentence, a paragraph, a word, whatever it is on my wall, and just say what your experience is dancing in Chicago, if it's not, and or what you're looking forward to. It doesn't have to be long. It can be as brief as you want it to be, a sentence even, but just go ahead and put that on my wall as feedback. I'd appreciate it. Andrew says, Steppin evolved since Dre and Sugarfoot left Shy. Michael says, say that one more time. Hey, Martha, I'm not sure if I spoke to you earlier. I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. As I mentioned, my girls and we will be at Alabama this weekend for Keep It Simple weekend. So I will definitely come back to you and give you and sing the news on that. And have a wonderful Monday.